right. I am home from work. Penelope is by me on the couch. We're having a great afternoon. Is it a great and wonderful day? You look crazy. You do. You look crazy. But Mommy loves you anyway. Mommy loves them crazy eyes anyway. Yes, her does. Mommy loves them crazy eyes anyway. Yes, her does. It's cute. Okay, so last night at the game, let's see, what was the first thing? Oh, the first thing, I told you about that in today's video. The girls got in a fight out in the field. That was hilarious. I tell you what, the girls that played against Phoenix's team, they were great. I mean, they were fantastic. They were all hitting that, and they were tiny little girls. I was like, is she even 5? And they said they're all 7 and 8 years old. And I was like, my word. I mean, she was tiny, tiny, tiny. But anyway, she smacked that ball. They all did, like line drives out to center field and roll into the fence. It was crazy. I mean, to get 11, and most of those were home runs, they were hitting that ball. All right. So on Phoenix's team, the coach pitches. I guess you don't want a 7-year-old to throw a ball at another 7-year-old. Anywho, he's throwing the ball, and the girls are hitting it, right? Well, the girl hits it, and it is heading straight for the coach. And right as it gets to him, he jumps up in the air, and he's doing that leg kicking, almost like he's running in air trying to get away from it, while he's kind of stumbling backwards at the same time. And his pants started, well, they were shorts, started coming down in the back, and you could see his underwear, and he caught himself right in time and grabbed his pants and pulled them back up. But I mean, I was hollering, I was laughing so loud, because it was a sight to see. I wished I'd have been recording, because that would have been like America's Funniest Videos kind of thing, because it was hilarious. So, moving on from that, Trina and I stayed for the whole game, and as soon as it was done, we come out and get in the car, and I'm driving home, and I'm telling her the people across the street got an ordinance violation from code enforcement. Now, our county has code enforcement. We don't have HOAs in this neighborhood, but we have code enforcement in the county that if somebody is not taking care of their property, or they've got stuff stacked up on their property, whatever, then people can call and complain, and they will come and get a ticket. So these people have this big pressure washer that's big. It's been parked in their front yard for like 3 years. I mean, no joke. At least 3 years. The weeds have grown up under it and through it. It's on a little trailer. It's the big pressure washing tank. It's sitting on a trailer parked in the front yard. Well, you can't park stuff like that in the grass. It has to be on a hard surface. And you can't have like signs for your business on something like that. You can't advertise your business in your yard. I don't know. Anyway, she sent me a copy of it because she was like, what in the world? And I was reading through it, and I said, well, I think it's the thing in the front yard, which belongs to, one family lives upstairs, one family lives downstairs. So anyway, long story shorter, I'm telling Trina all about it, and about the violations, and about, blah, blah, blah. Well, I get home, and y'all, I back in my driveway every day. I don't have any problems backing in my driveway. I back up, and I do it pretty quickly. I've got a backup camera. Well, I wasn't paying attention because I was too busy talking. And I almost ran it into the ditch, but I got it back up on the driveway. And then as I'm talking to her, I run it off into the grass again. And I was like, okay, Trina, I got to stop talking so I can back up the driveway, because apparently I cannot do 2 things at once. And she was cracking up. She said, I'm glad you didn't go in that ditch. I said, if I'd gone in that ditch, we'd have been stuck there, because it's pretty deep right there. I mean, it would have been one wheel in that ditch, and I'd have probably been stuck for good. Not stuck for good, but stuck till somebody pulled us out. But anyway, I quit talking to her and focused on the one thing that I was trying to do. And I was able to back up and miss her car back into my little place right here next to the house. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm not usually this bad. But, you know, I can't focus when I'm pointing at stuff and I'm talking. Anyway, almost ran us in the ditch. But the man almost losing his shorts was quite funny. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have been for the girls who were playing softball. But it was hilarious. I mean, at least he didn't. But you know what I'm saying? It was pretty funny. That just the whole move was funny. Anyway, I'll be back. Well, softball is over. Naomi's team won. She hit one of the winning runs, and then her friend Presley brought another point in, and they won the game. And the pitcher was Wild on the other team. She hit 3 different kids. She hit one in the ankle, one in the rib, and then one somewhere. I think she got hit on the leg. I'm sorry, there's a gazillion people out here all moving at the same time. I'm just trying to back out. Anyway, but they won, and that's great. Naomi called her mom over to the fence, and she said, what is it? And she said, I'm hungry. And she said, okay. And she said, I want Chick-fil-A for dinner. And her mom said, if you don't hit a ball and get a run in, you getting Burger King. And she went over there and hit that ball. I just ran over the curb. That's cool. And she went over there and hit that ball. And when she finally got back around to home base, she came over to the fence and she yelled at her mom. She said, I'm getting Chick-fil-A. She said, well, I did tell her if she hit a ball, she could have Chick-fil-A. She said, so I guess we're going to Chick-fil-A. What was the funny thing that happened? Let me see. Oh, yeah. So, you know, I can always relate a story back to you about something I saw. Well, my friend Peggy, I've told y'all about Peggy before. Peggy only has 1 foot. She had to have her right foot amputated and her leg right below the knee. So Peggy is a jokester, and she's just always up for making people laugh, okay? So she has to fly back to, I think she was going to Wisconsin. That's where she's from, Wisconsin. And she had her leg on, you know, but she carried a spare leg. And she put the spare leg in her backpack, and the foot was sticking out the top of her backpack. And she said, I even had it sitting in the seat next to me, sticking out, and people could see it as we drove down the road. And she said, I thought that meant that I could drive in the HOV lanes, which is, you know, where you have to have a passenger with you to drive in the HOV lane. She said it's part of a passenger because it's part of my leg. I don't know if she really did that or not, but she said that to be funny. Anyway, the girls, goodness, the girls that were coming in for the later softball games had their backpacks, and they had bats, 2 bats. Each of them had 2 bats, and they had their cleats or their Crocs, if they had already changed the shoes, sticking on the bats. So a foot over here and a foot over here sticking off the bats. So anyway, that's what reminded me of Peggy and her spare leg. It's nice to have a spare leg every now and then. Yeah. But anywho, but it was a good game. It was a good game, yeah. And it was hot. And I got to pet a dog. So that's nice. It was Lily the Doodle. Did I already tell y'all about Lily the Doodle? I'm pretty sure it's a doodle and not a poodle, because it's got a very long, fluffy tail. And unless they just didn't have the poodle's tail. Do they come cropped, or do you have to crop them? I don't know. My mom's poodles, I don't remember if she had a crop tail. Anyway, I don't know if she's a doodle or a poodle. I don't know what I'm saying, except she's got a really long tail with long hair hanging off of it. So, I don't know what that means. But she doesn't have the sharp nose like a poodle. So I think she's a doodle. But her name is Lily Rose, and I love her. She's very sweet. Yeah, she's a sweet girl. And my boss came into work today and brought her doggie, Coco. And Coco was very excited to see me, and I had to throw the toy down the hall for her like a gazillion times. But then she came running in, and she pee-peed in my office. And I said, oh, I think she pee-peed in my office. And Tommy said, Coco? And I said, well, it wasn't me. And she goes, what? I mean, I know, but she just usually doesn't pee-pee in the house like that. And she's never pee-peed in the office like that. I said, yes, but you forget, we've had Brooksy. And Brooksy was going through some, potty training days. So she probably could smell Brooksy in the room, and she had to cover with her own, You know how dogs are. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing about boys is they hike their leg, whereas the girl just squats. So when Charlie went in Tommy's house for the first time, he hiked his leg and peed on her ottoman. I like to have died. I did, because I didn't really know her that well. And I like to have died. And she was like, well, that's okay. That's what dogs do. She didn't mean that at all, because her house is just like it's like a showroom, but she was trying to be nice for me. She just cleaned it up. She said, it's okay. We love our dogs. And I was like, he never pees in the house though. Ever. And Charlie was not a lipstick dog, okay? But he was fixed. He was neutered. I mean, I'm not saying it never happened, but it didn't happen all the time. See, Hyper Hopper is not fixed. So I think the lipstick problem may be a little worse when they're not fixed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be making all that up, but that's what I think anyway. I'm on the way home now, and I'm going to stop talking. But I hope y'all have had a great day. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. We hope he's coming back soon, because people do be crazy. And I'll talk to you on the next one, okay? Toodles!